I don't know how to talk about this calmly, and honestly, I don't want to. Because the Venezuelan regime let an 82-year-old mother search for her son for 10 months, knowing that he was already dead. His name was Victor Hugo, and he was detained 18 months ago, and from the day he didn't come home, his mother, Carmen Navas, never stopped looking for him. She went to 21 prisons and detention centers. 21 times she was told that there was no record of her son. Then, when the regime announced its new amnesty law, Carmen Navas requested amnesty for her son, with renewed hope that she would see him again. It was rejected. The regime said he didn't qualify for the amnesty. But the truth is that they denied it because he was already dead. On May 7th, the Venezuelan regime finally admitted the truth. Victor Hugo had been dead since July of 2025. That's almost a year ago. So for 10 months, the regime knew that Carmen Navas' son was dead. And they let her keep searching. They let her go from prison to prison. They let her beg. They let her hope. And they denied his amnesty request, knowing that the man was already dead. That's cruelty on a scale that's almost impossible to imagine. But do you know what else it is? It's cowardice. This regime would rather kill its people, torture the mothers of its prisoners, and bury the truth in an unmarked grave than admit what it's done. You want to be taken seriously, Delcy Rodriguez? You want legitimacy? You don't get it by showing up for a photo op at the International Court of Justice. You get it by answering for what your regime has done to the Venezuelan people, to its citizens, which you are supposed to represent, and you claim to. Carmen Navas had to go to an unmarked grave where your regime had thrown her son after he died in your custody. She had to unbury and identify the decaying body of her son, who had been dead and buried for more than 10 months. And 10 days later, Carmen Navas died. And she wasn't the first. In the last 6 months, 5 mothers of Venezuelan political prisoners have died. Carmen Davila died hours after her son Jorge was released. She didn't even get to hug him before she died. Jenny Barrios died of a heart attack camping outside the prison where her son Diego was detained. Omaira Navas died 2 weeks before her son Ramon was released, and she never got to see him free. Yareli Salas died of a heart attack outside the prison where her son Kevin is detained. So make no mistake, the Venezuelan regime killed Carmen Navas. They killed Carmen Davila, Jenny Barrios, Omaira Navas, and Yareli Salas. They died of heartbreak. They died of anguish. They died of the stress of waking up every day to go to prisons and courts and police stations to beg the state for their sons. And I'm so sick of pity videos about Carmen Navas because Carmen Navas was more than a victim. She never gave up. This 82-year-old woman stood against the apparatus of state terror that is the Venezuelan regime, and they couldn't break her. They could not silence her. She turned pain into courage. She turned desperation into fearlessness. And in the end, she did it. She found her son, not because the regime gave her the truth, but because she forced the truth out of them. We have a lot to learn from Carmen Navas.